Do you look forward to the battle, though? With Alexander, y'all have got a little bit of a history. Y'all have gone toe-to-toe. Do you look forward to competing with him?
I could say yeah, but it's no different than I approach any other week. I'm not going out there trying to prove nothing. I ain't trying to prove each and every other week, every play, every day. Try to earn it during the week in practice. Get on the same page as my quarterback. I don't really get into all that extra shit.
Stefon, the baby rumors true? The baby rumors?
Who is that?
You.
Oh, my personal life? I told you about that. I don't talk too much about my personal life, but I heard about it.
Any celebrations that we'll see?
We'll see.
Did anyone ask you about the incentive?
Nah, but you got a couple extra dollars.
You like a couple extra dollars?
Which I want for the holiday. Kidding. Thank y'all so much.
Doesn't matter what he says, oh, let me heal you. Or, I'm going to be good to you.
Like one time he just told me, it's like, let me heal you. Give me a chance for me to heal you. And it's like, okay.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I've even in 3 weeks.
You haven't been in 3 weeks? Why?
No, because my is in Boston and I'm here working.
Pregnancy makes you probably want to more, right?
Yeah, but this is crunch time. In Boston, you're a Patriot.
He's playing.
Hell yeah, we're not playing. Now he's really locked in. Like, he's in his season right now.
How you dealing with it?
We just talk to each other every day, and it's like he just came out of a ACL injury. He got something to prove.
You're going to be at the games?
I'm going to go to a couple of games, but I get too anxious. I might be like, I might get bad.
We all know you went through a very messy divorce with Offset. Were you worried about dating again?
I mean, everybody kept telling me, I should have fun. And we had a little bit of too much fun, and now I'm here. One thing about, dating, when you date, you feel like you're, 16 again.
Well, you want to feel like you're 16.
You do, but then it's you also remember what you dealt with when you were 16. So it's restarting again. One time he just told me, let me heal you. Give me a chance for me to heal you. And it's okay.
I have a lesson, Doctor. What they doing, Mom? Yeah, they want to we're the video. So I'm hanging up and retired and shit. Baby not. Man.
All right.
Stefon, you said in 2020 that UGG boots are only for girls getting coffee. What do you think now?
I recant my statement. I am now the girl getting coffee, and I'm a matcha man now.
So you look very fly getting a matcha.
Thanks.
Was it tough for you to date again?
It's definitely tough dating in your 30s. I never really been a dating person. I've always been in long relationships since I was 21.
With Stefon, how has he inspired you?
I will never complain about my job because he has to do 2 different things. Not only do you have to study, you also have to get physical. And you have to be in bed at a certain time. You're literally in the military. I work hard, but you really work hard. I don't really have a sleep schedule. I don't even like to map out my day.
I didn't, spend a couple of days. I usually get to talk to y'all on Wednesday. But, obviously, it's a different time, a very emotional time. Taken back by some, things that's been going on. But I want to be here to say, sorry I wasn't available for those couple of days. It's a different kind of time. But dealing with everything, it's definitely an open case, so I can't even say anything about it. I will be open to any football questions, anything you want to know. I'm saying I don't want to be rude or disrespectful in any way. So if anybody asks me a question that pertaining to it, I'm obviously just give you a look. Y'all kind of know me at this point, but shoot.
What kind of support have you had, Stefon, from your teammates? We saw you yesterday on the field breaking huddle, and it seems like you're the leader out there at this point still.
Is that a football question?
Well, this is not about any sort of crime. It's
Christmas morning is supposed to be simple, presents on the floor, family in the room, everyone exactly where they're supposed to be. But this Christmas didn't look like that at all, because while Cardi B was posting cozy holiday photos with her kids, trees lit, smiles everywhere, newborn energy filling the room, one person was missing. And the internet noticed immediately, not quietly, not politely, they noticed loudly. Because this wasn't just any Christmas. This was a newborn's first Christmas. And the father, nowhere in sight. So the questions started spreading fast. Why would a man skip his newborn's first Christmas? And more importantly, why did the real reason end up being messier than anyone expected? Because the truth wasn't about abandonment. It wasn't about cheating. And it wasn't even about a breakup. It was about something much more uncomfortable. When Cardi posted her Christmas photos, everything looked picture perfect on the surface. Decorations were up, the kids were dressed, the vibe was warm, intimate, very much family holiday. But fans don't just look at photos anymore, they analyze them. And within minutes, the comments started stacking up. Where's Stefon? Why isn't he there? Did they already break up? Not the first Christmas. At first, some people tried to brush it off. Maybe he took the picture. Maybe he arrived later. Maybe he just didn't want to be online. But then Stefon Diggs posted, and that's when the situation went from confusing to explosive. Because Stefon wasn't missing. He was somewhere else entirely. On his own Instagram, Stefon shared Christmas moments too. Smiles, gifts, family energy. But these photos weren't with Cardi. They were with his other children. In one post, he even mentioned that it was one of his son's first Christmas, which immediately sent fans spiraling because Cardi's newborn had just been born weeks earlier. Then, as if that wasn't enough, Stefon reposted one of Cardi's holiday photos with a joking caption. And instead of calming things down, that single repost made everything worse. Because to the internet, it felt casual. Too casual, like someone wasn't reading the room. And suddenly, people weren't just confused anymore, they were connecting dots. And those dots didn't look good. The narrative flipped almost instantly. What started as "where is he" turned into "oh, so this is what's happening." Comment sections filled up fast. People accused Cardi of being played, of ignoring red flags, of jumping into something too quickly after her split from Offset. Some said this was predictable. Others said it was heartbreaking. And a loud group insisted this proved she lost the moment she got involved. The comparisons to Offset came fast and ruthless. Didn't she just leave this kind of chaos? Why repeat the same pattern? Why have a baby with someone like this? And that's the part that stung the most, because none of this was coming from confirmed facts. It was coming from optics, from what people thought they were seeing. A woman freshly out of a long public marriage, a high-profile athlete with a complicated personal life, a newborn caught in the middle. The internet decided it knew the ending already, until someone close to Cardi finally spoke and cracked the entire story open. Cardi's best friend, Kim Barbie, stepped in when the speculation hit a boiling point. And what she explained changed the tone of the conversation completely. According to Kim, the situation wasn't about Stefon choosing one family over another. It was about boundaries, specifically boundaries set by Stefon's other children's mothers. The reported condition was simple but heavy. If their children were going to be present, they wanted to be present too. That meant if all the kids were together, the baby mothers would also be there. And Cardi, she didn't want that environment for herself or her children, so she made a choice. Not a dramatic one, not a public one, but a firm one. She chose peace. She chose to keep her kids away from a situation she didn't feel comfortable stepping into. And that decision led to separate Christmases, not because they were broken up, not because Stefon didn't care, but because the reality around him was complicated, and she wasn't willing to force herself into it. And for a moment, the internet paused, because suddenly, this wasn't a story about abandonment anymore. It was a story about logistics. And once people processed that, the conversation shifted completely. Because now the question wasn't, why wasn't he there? It was, how many kids are involved here? And that's when things got uncomfortable. Reports and fan investigations started circulating, pointing out that Stefon Diggs reportedly has multiple children with multiple women. More than that, several of those children were born in the same year, including Cardi's newborn. For a lot of people, that detail landed hard, not because having multiple kids is wrong, but because of what it implied about timing, about overlap, about how many lives were being balanced at once. Even longtime fans admitted they hadn't realized the full scope of it. And suddenly, the story wasn't just about Christmas. It was about responsibility versus recklessness, about whether showing up physically is the same as building something stable. And that's where the debate exploded. Some people rushed to defend Stefon. They pointed out that he was with his kids, that he didn't disappear, that he didn't abandon anyone. They argued that a father being present for his children should never be criticized. And on the surface, that argument makes sense. But others pushed back just as hard. Because Cardi's baby wasn't just another holiday obligation, he was a 7-week-old newborn, a baby still adjusting to the world, a baby whose first Christmas would never happen again. And to those critics, it didn't matter how many houses you visited. Leaving a newborn on Christmas felt different. They called it house hopping. They questioned whether trying to keep everyone happy just created emotional chaos instead. And that's where the conversation split clean down the middle. One side said, he's doing his best in a complicated situation. The other said, some situations are complicated because of choices made earlier. And neither side was entirely wrong, because the deeper criticism wasn't really about parenting, it was about timing. Fans couldn't stop pointing out that Cardi had just come out of a long, messy marriage. She was vulnerable, she was healing, she was starting over publicly, and people believe that timing matters, especially when children are involved. Some said she moved too fast, others said she trusted too easily. A few argued she ignored warning signs that were already visible. Then came the quieter chatter, carefully worded, never fully confirmed, about Stefon's dating reputation within NFL circles. Nothing concrete, nothing provable. Just long-standing whispers that this wasn't an isolated pattern. And whether those whispers are fair or not, they added fuel to a fire that was already burning. Because fans started asking a harder question. Was this situation ever built for stability? And that's where this story stops being about blame. Because this isn't about saying Cardi didn't know, she likely did. She knew who she was dealing with. She knew his life wasn't simple. She knew there were layers she couldn't control. But knowing something doesn't make it easier to live through it. You can understand the situation. You can see the red flags. You can even accept the reality on a logical level. And it can still hurt. Because logic doesn't stop emotions from showing up, especially when a child is involved. Especially when expectations collide with real life. And Stefon, he showed up. That part matters. He didn't disappear. He didn't vanish when things got complicated. He didn't walk away from responsibility. He was present for his children, and in many people's eyes, that counts for something. But presence isn't the same as consistency. Being there sometimes isn't the same as being rooted in one place. And that distinction is where this story really lives. In the gray area no one wants to sit in for too long. The space where someone can be doing enough in one sense and still not be doing what's needed in another. Because consistency builds safety, and stability builds trust. And when those things are split across multiple lives, multiple homes, and multiple expectations, even good intentions can feel chaotic. That's why this situation hit such a nerve. In the end, this wasn't about picking sides. It wasn't about attacking a man simply for being a father. And it wasn't about shaming a woman for trusting someone during a vulnerable chapter of her life. It was about choices, about timing, about what happens when lives overlap faster than emotions can catch up. When real people are trying to build something meaningful inside a situation that was already crowded before it began. Cardi chose peace, but peace came with distance. Distance from mess, distance from conflict, distance from an environment she didn't feel comfortable bringing her children into. And that choice made sense, even if it didn't look perfect from the outside. Stefon chose presence, but presence came with division. Divided holidays, divided homes, divided attention, and that too came with consequences, even if the intention behind it wasn't harmful. And the baby at the center of it all, he won't remember this Christmas. He won't remember the photos, the posts, the commentary, or the debates, but the internet will, because the internet remembers optics. It remembers moments. It remembers the firsts. And once a story like this forms, it doesn't disappear easily. It lingers, reshaped and retold, long after the people involved have moved on. So the real question isn't who was right. It's whether this situation, from the very beginning, was ever built to last. Not in theory, not in intention, but in reality.